Okay, what's going on, everybody? Man, Big Daddy Badass, Major Bad Association. Holla at your boy. I'm back from my little mini vacation, back up to Boston. Things did not go as planned, is the easiest way I can say it. So let me just get most of this shit out the way up front. Me and my mother did not have that conversation that I assumed we were going to have. It was actually something completely different, but at the same time still entwined. It's kind of hard to describe. It had to do more so with why I wasn't keeping in touch with my surrogate aunts, which are the sisters in different congregations who helped her raise me, and with her calling them my real aunts and emphasizing that fact that they were my real aunts over my actual biological aunts. Because this is how she feels, and it's not just how she feels, but it's also how almost all witnesses feel. They feel that the congregation and fellow witnesses are your true family as opposed to blood family. So that's where that conversation went. We didn't talk about really anything that had to do with the witnesses, other than me basically letting her know that, the reason why I didn't keep in touch with them as much was because I didn't want to have that disappointment, which is I see how they treat other people who they said were their nephews or their sons or whatever, their spiritual nephews and spiritual sons. And once they choose to leave the religion or believe something different, then they cut them off. So I told her basically what I was doing was I didn't want to tarnish the memory that they had of me, or that I have of them. I wanted to kind of preserve that so they could see me always as that, just because it would be simpler. And so I told her that was my main reason for doing that. But I was like, if I'm wrong, let me know that I'm wrong. If they're not going to treat me that way, then fine, definitely. I'll call them regularly and make sure everything's okay with them and stuff like that. But as I reiterated, I've seen how they treat others, and I didn't want that to happen to me. So she was basically trying to comfort me and let me know that, no, that's not going to happen. Family is family regardless. I'm like, okay, so we'll see what happens with that. And then that was the night before the baby shower. And then the very next day, she ended up not coming to the baby shower without giving me any reason. Literally 2 hours before it started, she said, I'm not going. Didn't have time to really ask her why and get all into it because we had stuff to do. It was really shocking and really hurtful, especially considering the conversation we had the night before, which, by the way, we were there until almost 2 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning, talking about these different kind of things, about how, you have to be there for family and all that good stuff. But then she decided at the end not to come. I don't exactly know the reason why, and I'm not gonna berate her and try to find out why. I called her and left a voicemail saying that, we were hurt and we really want you to come. This was before the baby shower started. It was like, I hope you change your mind and we hope to see you there. And she never called back. And then I also sent her an email, very simple email. All I said was, why didn't you come? So I'm waiting for her to reply to that. If she doesn't, I'm not going to contact her until she reaches me. The ball's in her court now. Some people may feel a certain way about that, but this is the way I kind of have to deal with it. On the J-Dub note, I did print out some things. I printed out some the JW dollars, and then I went and made these little flyers right here. jwfacts.org with a little picture of Sparlock. Lots of them. I didn't get a chance to go to the hall because the entire time that we were there, the family had us running around doing lots of stuff. A lot of things weren't finished for the baby shower, so we had to help out, and I just literally couldn't fit it into the schedule, unfortunately. So what I did do was we drove back home. So we drove from Boston to Raleigh, North Carolina. And what I did was at every rest stop, I would leave those little flyers in the bathrooms. I would leave them places where we would eat, in gas stations, and really conspicuous places so that people can pick them up and read them, hoping that hopefully they'll end up going to the website and find out some information, the truth about the truth. Also, what I did was I wore my Vast Apostate shirt on the drive home so that everywhere I went and everywhere I walked, people would see it. I did have a good experience with that. Unfortunately, I was getting food at the moment, so my wife actually had the experience. We had just walked into a rest stop, and there was this guy who looked like he could have been a Hell's Angel. In all seriousness, like the whole long, full beard, leather vest, jacket type thing. Just, kind of like a rough-looking guy. I didn't really pay him much money, but I did see him kind of pause a little bit when he walked in front of me, but I didn't see his eyes reading the shirt. I was just going around him trying to get my food. So my wife called me when I was in line because she was in a different line. I missed the call. And then when I met her, she was like, "Oh, did you see the guy?" I'm like, "What guy?" She's like, "The guy with the beard." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, what about him?" She was like, "When you walked away, he came up to me and said, 'Are you believers?'" And, she was kind of shocked. She was like, "I'm not sure what you're talking about." He was like, "Oh, I read his shirt. I really, really like his shirt. And, yeah, I agree. Like, people need to find out the truth." And just saying all these really great things. So that was amazing. So it's good to know that something as simple as wearing a shirt that has a little bit of information on it can make an impact. So just because only one person said something to her, I know a lot of other people have read it. And hopefully they'll go to the websites and find out the information and want to do some research for themselves. That goes for witnesses and non-witnesses. So that's really what happened, that whole thing. I really wish I could have done more, like actually went to the hall. I did, however, when I was picking up things from my mother's house, because as I've always told you, lots of witnesses live on my street, so they were meeting for field service right next door. And a lot of the elders and brothers and sisters that I've known my whole life were outside all meeting together. So as I was leaving, I got some hugs, some hi, hey, how you doing? Everyone said I looked like a Rasta because of the dreads. And they started kind of laughing, tongue-in-cheek kind of. But it was kind of cool to see them. But the weird thing, well, not the weird thing, the brother's house that it was held at, who lives right next door, who, like I said, I've known my whole life, he was the only one who didn't speak to me. He barely even looked in my direction. And I'm not surprised, but I think that's because he's probably been warned not to speak to me because of all the things that I've been saying and all the videos I've been doing and voicing my opinion and stuff. So I'm going to continue my little campaign to keep handing out the JW dollars, the $0, leaving them in certain places. I still have, as you see, some more of those little flyers, so I'm going to drop those off in different places. And, just keep putting the word out there about what we're trying to do and about what I'm trying to do. Other than that, the baby shower was amazing. We got a lot of great stuff for my little girl. And it's really starting to sink in now. It's kind of freaky because I'm still young, even though I'm older than most of the people in my family when they had their children. I still feel like I'm young and it's like mind-blowing. But at the same time, it's great. Like, I can't wait. We've been to parenting classes and all these things like that, and I'm learning so much. So I guess that's why it's like nervous and anxious and just all that stuff wrapped up into one. So, trying not to make this video too long because I am at work right now. So that was my little update for the vacation. Hope everything's good with y'all. I'm going to catch up on my videos and go see what y'all have been doing over the past week. Other than that, your man, Big Daddy Badass, VAA all day. Holla at your boy.